Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're back for another adventure.
Pour your glass.
We've got our glasses ready. Here, cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, didn't you just fill it?
No,
yours
I
up?
haven't. I'm trying to finish this.
You literally just asked me for the bottle. I was expecting you to fill it up.
I was trying to have it ready. So when I finished it. This is really good.
It is really good.
It's called The Collection. You can find it at Target. It's got, it
has grapes.
It's got grapes.
It's a red.
It's a red cab. It's a 2017.
It goes good apparently with barbecued ribs and sauteed mushrooms. If that sounds good to you, I love me some good sauteed mushrooms. Here, why don't you just top me off while you're at it?
Literally Aaron's favorite side. I can't. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so today we realized that last time we kind of just like jumped into it. We got like super excited and
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Sorry.
We got super excited and we didn't like tell you our positives and negatives, which you might not even care about. So you're probably like, thank God you guys didn't talk about your lives. But if you are that person, you might just want to skip forward a couple minutes.
5 minutes.
Because we remembered this time, and I actually like wrote some stuff down, that some positive things that have been happening in my life, and so is Louisa, because I think we mentioned before that, this past couple of months have been just a little bit tough. So it's always good to just like take a second and remember that you are blessed and that you do have good things going on, even though it seems like shit's hitting the fan and you don't know what's going to happen next, because that's literally where I've been these past couple months, and it's been really scary and it sucks. But luckily, things are looking up. And we're ready to fucking rock and roll. So,
let's roll.
On that note, Louisa, you start.
Okay, my positive, I don't got much for you guys this week. I'm not gonna lie to you. I couldn't think of much.
I mean, we didn't say anything last time, so anything
True.
in general that's positive.
Well, let's see. A positive,
Well, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say the first day of summer has graced us.
Yes.
It's obviously, when you guys hear this, we'll probably be dying of heat here in this Texas desert.
Well, and it's been really weird because we've been getting a lot of rain, and typically we don't get rain that much in June. And it just seems like literally almost every other day it rains, and almost every single weekend it rains. So even when you want to be outside, you just can't because it's thunderstorming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, summer is here.
Yeah.
Has been here.
I mean, the rain definitely has helped, because of my negative. Man, I just have like a weather report for my positive and negative.
Thank you, weather woman Louisa, for that update. On to you.
Oh my god.
Aaron for the crisis mode.
Right. Back to you on the high-speed chase.
Okay, what's your negative weather?
Is, going off of this rainy weather we've had, it's kind of good because it's cooled us off a little bit. It's not so muggy and hot out. Maybe that's just me because I leave the office at like 6 and I have covered parking, and by the time I get home, the sun's set. So, but I mean, we kind of do need the rain, because the last thing we need, knock on wood, is Texas to be in a drought with the current power grid crisis we're in. So, I can say it might be a negative, the heat, but I'm very grateful for
I don't
the
think
rain.
that you even like the heat in general, so I am enjoying the heat. I love the heat. I want to be outside. I don't want to be like working outside. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't love it that much.
I like the heat. I think you can agree with me. I like the heat as long as I'm by a pool with the margarita in hand.
Yes. And yes. I want to be next to a body of water, because when it does get really hot, like, I can go jump in and cool off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Last year, I think around this time it was, obviously everybody was in quarantine, and Louisa and I,
we lived.
for some reason, why were we thinking that we needed to do a blow up pool just because it would be fun?
Oh no, because so at the time our pool at our apartment wasn't open yet. So
yeah,
Aaron and I were literally looking at pools on Amazon.
Yeah, it was still in the depth of the quarantine of everything's closed. Our front office was closed, like literally everything. The pool, gym, yeah. Everything. So we were thinking of like, how can we get to a pool? Like, why didn't we think of going to my mom's house because she has a pool? I don't know. But
I don't know.
Anyways, we decided that we were going to try and figure out a way to buy a blow-up pool and put it on our roof or
the only
whatever.
issue was, like, we could buy the pool. That wasn't the issue.
Yeah.
The issue was how the hell were we going to get water into said pool?
Yeah.
Because there wasn't, like, there's like
not a faucet or
like
or
anything up there. So
I
mean, we're going to charge people to join our
10-foot blow-up pool. So, needless to say, that never took place because then, luckily, our pool finally opened. Mm-hmm. So, that kind of leads me into my positive is that I finally got to go to the lake this past weekend with my dad and sister, just weather permitting. I mean, every single weekend it's been like rainy
nice.
or, yeah, it was beautiful. And we went for Father's Day on Sunday. My first little toasted burn, which is now turning into a nice little tan. So that's my positive. I also, it's kind of a positive negative, but I got to spend almost a week with my mom and my uncle in Colorado for my grandpa's memorial. Which is overall like a sad thing. It's not ever easy to like get together for someone who passes away, but in the light of things, like we got to visit with family that we don't necessarily get to see on a day-to-day basis, and it was really good to kind of catch up with them and really just talk about, I mean, my grandpa, his history, all the good he did, and just kind of reflect on his life and like how many people he affected in a positive way. So even though it was like a negative thing that happened and brought us all together, ultimately it was positive for us to all be able to spend time together and to see each other, which we haven't seen each other, especially with COVID going on. Yeah. It's been over almost 2 years since we've all seen each other. Yeah. So yeah, that's my little positive negative. Also, this is like a very like nonchalant negative thing. But on the last episode, I think I mentioned that I moved into a new apartment. And I was telling you this earlier that I'm the type of person, I have a lot of like decorations and stuff, but like me opening boxes and actually like unpacking them and putting them on the wall and stuff is like really not that big of a deal to me. Yeah. So I don't really know why I have so many decorations, but I feel like I've kind of outgrown some of my decorations, and so I'm kind of wanting new stuff, and I don't really know like where to start. Yeah. And like Tammy and Aaron, like they're like so good at that stuff and have like the patience to like match stuff together. And you would think that I would be good at that, but I'm really not. Like when it comes to my own stuff, I'm like, it's like I don't want to spend the money on it. But so if anybody like wants to help me decorate my apartment, that would be great.
I want to help. I think you should start off by like
also, I want to do it as cheaply as possible. I don't want to be like spending a lot of money because.
Well, then you're talking to the right gal. I think, man, TikTok should just I should just graduate from TikTok school by now.
You need to we need to get on that, honestly.
I know.
I hate that we don't live together anymore because I don't see you as often. We can't do things together.
I know. It sucks for me as well. Trust me.
Why don't you just come over every day after work?
That That
might be a good idea.
Might be a good idea.
Okay.
But back
Put
into
it on
this
the calendar.
redecoration.
Okay.
I think you should start with like creating a completely clean slate Pinterest board.
Okay.
And you have to look at. So I've recently discovered. I used to think I was a minimalist. Like I liked minimal things, but I discovered that like what I like is like Art Deco kind of, where it's like you have like one specific like piece in a room that like stands out, but everything just kind of like flows together. And so there's just like different, like my mom is like French country house, so like her and I like completely freaking clash.
Yeah,
because she thinks she's like fucking baking bread in the French countryside in Normandy, and I'm over here thinking I really love Paris chic. I love the way people in Paris decorate their fucking apartments. They're beautiful. But you just have to kind of like find that. Like just go through TikTok. I'm going to send you some TikToks. Because there are some girls on there that are specifically interior designers. And you can probably message them. Because a lot of them are like, I can help you out. Just DM me.
Is that what they sound like?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I will have to check that out. But yeah, start sending me stuff for inspiration. Because honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I've had things, like, for so long. Yeah. It's, like, just like my closet. Like, I have had them for so long. It's, like, I can't get rid of that. Like, I feel like I have that little
I never saw that at our other place.
No, because it was in a box somewhere in the study. But I've had that, I think, since college, or at least since I've graduated college, which was like 7 years ago. And it's like, I feel like my style can change, you know? Like
yes. I love it because it's like, love you more.
And my mom says that to me. So, I mean, it does have...
Sweet. I mean, you can like retouch it if you want, like not to get rid of it.
I know. Well, I mean, that I don't mind that. But there's like other things that I'm just like, I mean, I love that painting, but like, I've had that for so long. I need to upgrade, you know? Yeah. So it's just like I need to revamp. Like I love all the stuff still, but it's still like I want to.
You like want to look at something new.
Yeah. Yeah. I've looked at it for too long in my life. All right. I need to revamp. So.
All right.
Yeah. Anyways, so.
Feng shuiing and shit.
Yeah. Need to just like move shit around. Yeah. But I guess, I mean, it doesn't really bring us to today's topic, but I'm just going to jump right into it.
All right, let's just jump right into it.
You know, to keep us moving along.
Do it.
So I was actually having this conversation with a couple girlfriends and my sister, and my dad, actually. But we were just talking about, like, body image and the connotations that come with body image, positive and negative. Yeah. I think that, you know, our generation is trying to really like talk about body positivity and all of that stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's still really hard to like be positive about your own body and really just put that reminder in your head, like, I'm beautiful, I'm worth millions, you know, whatever. Yeah. So I kind of wanted to talk about that today, and just like with it being summer and like the stigma of like hot girl summer, hot body summer, whatever. Just kind of talk about that, and I guess the stigmas that come along with that. Yeah. So that's the topic of today.
All right.
Hot girl summer, hot body summer, hot girl summer.
I was going to say something like positivity body summer, but it doesn't flow as
But
well.
Isn't that what people say is hot girl summer? That's like the saying on like TikTok and all what the youngins are saying.
I have no idea.
You know, you are on TikTok all the time.
I know I am, but they need to. You know how like when you scroll for too long, there's a little like hold on, you've been like no, fuck you, man. There should be like a little guy instead that's like, all right, we've scrolled through a couple. Let's see if you know these slang term words.
Yes.
I would rather that.
And quiz you. Because I need to keep up with these youngins if I'm going to stay in the game, you know?
But, hot girl summer. I think hot girl summer is whatever you interpret it. Me,
Yes.
it's just, I feel hot today, so I feel hot this season, so it's hot girl summer.
You know what? Hot girl summer is literally me stepping outside and sweating my fucking ass off. That's my
Oh my
hot girl
God,
summer.
yes. Especially like my thighs stick into my leather seats. Oh my God.
You know what's the worst is when you're wearing shorts and you get up and it's like all soaking wet and you're like, wow, it looks like I just peed my pants.
It's just sweat, guys. I promise.
Just sweat, no worries. But I did want to talk about it in regards to like the pressures that come along with hot girl summer. Like who, like what you said is like hot girl summer is whatever you want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that, it's the pressures from other people and what their interpretation of hot girl summer is. And basically, I feel like our minds trick us into trying to conform into other people's mindsets of what hot girl summer is.
It is. I think there are like two hot girl summers. So there's the hot girl summer of, okay, I'm out there, I'm gonna fucking just embrace my whole fucking body and whatever, just go have a fucking hot, fun,
fucking hot.
It's my accent, guys, okay? English is not my first language. But a fucking hot summer, just like, I'm gonna have fun and give two shits. And then, I guess, then there's that interpretation of hot girl summer of like, oh my gosh, I have to be by the pool.
I have to look a certain way.
Yes.
I have to act a certain way. I wrote down in here is like the pressure to like look perfect and to like be perfect and to be in shape. And I mean, perfect
doesn't exist, guys.
It's crazy because I think I kind of suffer from perfectionism. Like I want, you want to be perfect in your own head. And I think that's really where you kind of have to stop. And because once you start comparing yourself, and I mean, you don't know what other people are thinking. And I think that's a very dangerous topic to even, or like road to even go down, because assuming, first of all, my mom always told me assuming makes an ass out of you and me, and you never want to do it in any situation. So assuming what other people are thinking and what other people take a certain saying to be is a dangerous thing to do, just because if you're thinking they are in their heads, hot girl summer is like, oh, like you gotta have abs, no cellulite, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And when in reality they're probably in the same mindset as you, is like, oh my god, like shouldn't have eaten that mozzarella stick. I mean, insecurities lie within everyone. And so to compare yourself to anyone else is a dangerous game, because that's really, I think that's where like eating disorders really, like that's one of the roots of where that, and then just the negative mindset of having that anxiety of looking perfect and being perfect and not eating because you want to be skinny, and all of that stuff is really starts from looking at other people. And it's damaging and like hurtful to yourself. It's not helping anybody. No. And so I was talking to my sister about this, because I mean, I'm not like the skinniest person on the planet, neither is she. And I mean, we both love to have a good time together. We enjoy both going on the lake, and like, we're not going to let that stop us from having a good time and like spending time with our family and our friends and doing things that we love to do. And we were talking about that, and so she said something that was very like profound and I feel like very wise for her age, because she's only 20 and she'll be 21 in September, but she's she's very wise for her age.
Yeah.
And so she was just like, you have to be stronger than your mind sometimes.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, wow, like, that's so,
I
like,
can see your dad.
he's like, yeah, like, that's really, like, something cool to think about. But he's like, it's really weird because it's like your mind produces your thoughts. And so, like, your brain is having to tell your brain to stop thinking that stuff. And it's like a vicious cycle. It's like, well, you have to be aware of those negative thoughts and then be aware enough to stop them and be like, no, we're not going to be thinking about that today.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of crazy how, I mean, I've tried to, like, work on myself, and I don't necessarily work out to look good. I do it as a stress reliever. I do it to get my mind off of things. And I mean, yeah, it does have health benefits, and I do feel like I've toned up a little bit, but I'm still, like, probably the heaviest that I've ever been in my life.
But see, that's, like, another thing. And I think...
But I'm a growing girl. I'm a big
girl.
I'm a big girl.
Like, one of the things, and I think our generation, like, us older folks.
Oh, shut up.
You're not old. You know what I'm saying? Like, us older, like, us millennials are, like, pushing, like, such body positivity. Like, we talk about it on social media and books and podcasts and everywhere because I lost my train of thought.
Oh, no.
What were we talking about?
Really? Body positivity.
Oh, like the whole thoughts and everything. Oh, so my thing is, like, our bodies, and I've told Aaron this, I've told Fernanda, I've told many people, it's like, and it's something that I've had to tell myself. It's like, my body is not going to be the same body that I had in high school.
Yeah.
Because I was still a child, probably still going through puberty, because don't women end puberty at 18?
I feel like I'm still 20, going through puberty right now.
Well, not just that, but, like, apparently I just learned that, like, we go through a second puberty somewhere in your 20s or 30s.
Yeah. So
where your body changes again, and hormones and everything's disrupted.
That's why I'm so emotional all the time.
Probably.
The alcohol doesn't help that. But I believe that.
I think one of the biggest factors in the whole, like, thoughtfulness thing, like, telling yourself to stop and, like, you know, the comparison and whatever it is that your mind is, like, rolling on, is you have to think, my body was not built like Aaron's.
Right.
You know, and it's like, or we have Kelly's, like, super skinny, like, her, like, we're not.
But she's also, like, super tall, like, taller than us. Like, you can't
compare.
But that's a perfect point, and I will also say this to that point, that growing up, and, like, I've been friends with Kelly for over 10 years, and just, I mean, you can't compare yourself to other people's physically. You cannot, you should not, because it's not healthy. You need to be, like, good with yourself, and that really takes a lot of mental strength and self-love to be able to do that. But on the point that I was going to make was that just as you can't make comparisons physically, you also can't make comparisons, like, emotionally, because you don't know what other people have gone through to be in the state that they're in, to be, you know, like, you just don't. And so it's kind of crazy, like, when you think about it, and I think about this a lot, actually, like, when you think of yourself and, like, how much shit you've gone through in your life, and some things you've never told anybody, some things you probably never will, or you don't want to, or some things you've shared with other people. But then, like, you look at another person, a stranger, who you have no idea, and they've probably gone through just as much shit, if not more.
Yeah. And
for you to be hateful or to, you know, judge someone based on anything is just mind-boggling to me. And it's like, we just, as a human race, just need to be nicer to each other.
Yeah.
And I think that starts with being nice to ourselves and loving ourselves.
Yeah. That's actually like a big thing. I actually wrote it down. So like one of the biggest things, like, and I think any personal trainer, nutritionist, whatever, says that like one of the first things, like when going, like, you know, if you're going through a weight loss journey or you're, you know, you have an eating disorder that you're trying to get better of, is telling like your body like I love what I have and I'm grateful for what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And there was actually a study done by a psychologist. I'm not sure, like, you guys can fact check me on this, but they did. They had a cup of rice. I don't know how much rice and 2 mason jars.
Okay.
And they had them in like 2 separate rooms. And on the one mason jar, like mason jar 1, they just said it like, you're ugly, you're disgusting, like hateful things, you're fat, you're disgusting. And on the mason jar 2, they told it like, you're beautiful, I love you, like loving things. And after a month, the mason jar 1 that received the negative comments was moldy. And mason jar 2 that received loveful comments was like cooked rice.
It was cooked.
Well, not cooked, but like it was
Somebody
like,
went in there at nighttime and cooked it.
But it was like white. It was not moldy at all. And then I saw this girl on TikTok. She's like, I'm going to test this out. And she had 2 plants.
Mm-hmm.
And so she did the same thing. And then she would switch it out. But like she tested it. And so the plant that she said horrible things to was not growing or flourishing as much as the plant she was telling beautiful things to.
Aww.
So my point is, like, when you go in, things are starting to go in your head and you're like, stop. Like, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I love how shiny my hair is. I love my boobs because they're nice and big. Whatever. Like, just tell yourself, like, I love my body. I, like, you know, it's beautiful.
I mean, everything on your body, God gave it to us for a purpose. So, I mean, even if you have like little jankety toes like me, I mean, I actually kind of like my feet.
I like one weird
small
toe.
Even if you have like a weird little toe,
yeah,
that toe serves a purpose.
Yeah.
So be grateful for him or her, whatever you want to call it. And it serves its purpose. Every day when you get up and you walk, that toe's helping you walk. If you didn't have that toe, you might have a limp.
Yeah. Like, I personally can say, like, a couple years ago, like, I, like, undressing and like to go jump in the shower, like, I would like, I have cellulite, I hate this, I hate that, like, whatever. And like now I look in the mirror and I'm like, I got curves, I look great, I have a nice ass, I got thick thighs and I love them, you know? Like, it's just
thighs before
guys.
Thighs before guys,
I like
lady.
that.
Yeah.
We need to put that on a t-shirt.
Also, if y'all have ever been sitting on a toilet and looking at your phone and then accidentally your phone slips, if you don't have those thighs to
grip it,
you know, that phone's going straight in the toilet. So be thankful for those big thighs, because that saved me a couple of times, I will say.
But I guess, like, the point I'm going at is, like, try to turn those thoughts into a different direction. I
have heard, and obviously I don't know this for a fact, but I've heard, and I'm going to try to tell you the best that I can remember, but negative thoughts are 10 times more powerful than a positive thought.
Yeah.
So if you're telling yourself, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm disgusting, your brain and your body are going to believe that and actually, like, truly feel those things. Mm-hmm. And instead of telling yourself, I'm beautiful, I love my body, even if you don't, right now, I'm going to challenge you to start saying that you love 5 things about yourself every single day, throughout the day. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you, in 30 days, I think it takes like 21 days to start a habit, or to whatever.
Yeah, form a habit.
To form a habit. So in 21 days, you're going to start feeling those things that you're telling yourself. Mm-hmm. And whenever you have to be very mindful of those negative thoughts, and when they start creeping in, that's when you tell yourself no and tell yourself the positive, beautiful, I love my body, I love my mind, I love how smart I am, I love how decorative, conscious I am. Like literally anything, any creative background you have, any skill you have, anything that you're grateful for, tell yourself that you're grateful for it. Your mind is going to thank you so, so much.
Yes. And, just like I was telling my mom, I was like, you have to tell your body, like, beautiful things. Like, you have to tell yourself beautiful things because you're a little flower and you want to bloom.
Yeah.
And I've for sure noticed, like, my mindset has changed a lot. And I'm pretty sure many of you has changed your mindset a lot in whatever journey that you're in. And I'm not saying that we have our bad days where it's like, oh, I don't feel the greatest right now. That's perfectly normal. Like, oh, I don't feel the greatest right now, but I'll feel better tomorrow. Like, tomorrow's a new day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I was telling a friend, like, she was telling me just, like, how she just doesn't, it puts her in a bad mood to, like, look at pictures of herself and, like, to, go out and, not feel how she feels in her mind or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I get that. Like, that's a valid feeling. Mm-hmm. Like, you're allowed to feel that way. But, like, what are we going to do to get you out of it? Like, what can we do? Because that's not a way to live. Mm-mm. That's not a way to live your life and to, not do things that you love to do because you feel self-conscious and you don't feel like yourself. Mm-hmm. And how do we bounce back from that? Like, how do we bounce back from that negative mindset? And I know that we've been saying, like, just tell yourself, like, just do it. Mm-hmm. Like, sometimes it's not that easy.
No, it's not. But it's just, I mean, you don't have to, like, well, I'm going to put on this tight little dress and go out. Like, no, like, you don't, like, I know some of you can be very, very progressive and just jump straight ahead.
Yeah, and like applause goes to you. Like,
good job. But there are other of us who just need little tiny baby steps, And baby steps could be, okay, well, I'm going to look through these photos and instead of thinking how I look, let me think of what are we doing? Like, what's the memory behind this picture?
Yeah. That's a really good advice. It's like, how much fun was I having and who was I spending time with? That's really good advice. I love that.
Thank you.
You're so smart.
It's my therapist.
We need to have him on the show.
Right.
But I think, too, when we were, like, prepping for this show, we were talking about, like, things that could kind of get us into that negative mind space, too. Which it's very easy to do these days, just with social media being at our fingertips and, Instagram models and blah, blah, blah. We've talked about all of that before. But something that you brought up was, like, going shopping and going into, like, a dressing room and, like, trying on clothes that in your mind you're like, this shit's gonna look bomb. Yeah. I'm gonna look fly. Wow, I sounded so... I just aged myself so bad.
Oh my God.
Wow. I'm so embarrassed. But, you just, like, want to look like you're fucking the shit. Like, you're the shit. You're not fucking the shit, but you are the shit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've had many, like, I hate fucking trying on jeans. Like...
Oh, yeah. I think that's every girl's nightmare because I think we can all agree that all stores, all brands are clearly using children to model these jeans and not real life women with butts and hips.
Yeah. We're ready to, like, we could give birth at any moment with these birth-bearing hips, okay? Like, I need you to actually, like, give me a model that looks like me. Mm-hmm. None of these, I mean, for instance, like, there are people out there that do look like those models.
Yeah.
But I would say that the vast majority of people don't. Mm-hmm. And they could just, like, mix in a few. that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they are starting to kind of do that.
They're getting
They're
to it.
starting.
But I think also, and this has been an issue, I think, since I probably, you can agree with me, since I was in middle school, like the whole sizes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was younger, especially in middle school, being a 00 was the shit.
That made you cool.
Yeah,
if you were not a size 00, like
you
who the
were
fuck?
Fat.
Who the fuck do you think you are? You're gonna go sit with all.
You're gonna sit by the trash.
Because that's what you are.
Like I remember being a size 3 and be like, oh my god.
You know what?
Like,
I can completely agree with this. And there was a point when I was probably a senior, so it wasn't like that big of a deal to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, had to get my license renewed or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like put 125 on there. Like, it's like I'm 125 or something like that. Mm-hmm. My mom's like, you're like 120. And I was like, it's not a big deal, Mom. And now I'm like, why would you like give yourself those 5 pounds? Like, I will take those 5 pounds and like take them off of me right now. But like back then, I don't know if I was just like, excuse me. I don't know if I was just like cocky or whatever, but I remember being extremely self-conscious in high school. Like, I was super skinny.
Oh, yeah.
But it seems like in all of my pictures, all of my friends were always skinnier than me.
Mm-hmm. I had the same issue. I was the tallest and, like, the curviest. Like, but that's the thing. Daisy, you're going to get in trouble.
No.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I had to learn, like, I'm Mexican. Like, I'm not built, like, no offense, like you white people. Like, I come from a long line of, like, my grandma. Like, I get my boobs from my grandma. I got my boobs early. I was in training bras in, like, elementary school.
I'm still waiting for mine to come in.
I will donate mine. I will donate mine. But
mine went straight to my butt. My boobs, I think, got lost in my butt.
They lost its way. They're like, where are we going?
They're like, oh, well, this looks comfy.
But, you know, like, in middle school, I remember just in high school, just, I look back at pictures and I'm like, I told my mom this the other day. I was like, messed up my mic. I told my mom, I was like, I thought I was, like, obese.
Same.
And I told my mom, I was like, I weighed 115 pounds.
Yeah.
If anything, I might have been underweight.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, and, like, as we grow, and this is something that, like, my mom struggles with even today, and, I mean, just women, our bodies, like you said, go through so many different stages of life, like, you know, giving birth and hormones and
menopause,
all this shit. And like when we were in high school, like it's so crazy that now it's been almost 10 years that I've graduated from high school, and we're still comparing ourselves to that, you know? Yeah. And it's like, okay, I've gone through a lot of shit in those past 10 years to maybe like. Also, I don't play basketball anymore. That was my prime exercise.
Our schedule for sure was a lot. Like, I was telling my mom, I was like, I don't know how in high school I was like, get at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to basketball practice for like what felt like 5 hours long.
It was.
Go through a whole school day of like school in general. And then still stay to go to a basketball game and not get home till sometimes 10 at night. Yeah. Still do some leftover homework just to wake up the next day at 5 o'clock again.
And do it again. Yeah, I mean, basketball practice started at probably like, 6? Maybe 5:30 sometimes?
It was like 5:30.
And that first period bell didn't ring until 10 o'clock. Yeah. So you were sometimes there for 4 hours. I mean, and you had to be there early. So it's like, and it's constant running. So it's, no wonder we're fucking skinny back in the day. And it's like, if I could run for 4 hours out of my day, I would probably be a lot thinner.
Yeah, same.
But you know what? I don't enjoy running anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't think I ever actually did.
I hated it when the ball would go to the other side. I'm like, damn it.
No.
And you're having to sprint. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah, or like to do suicides or fucking the mile. God, that sucked.
What was it? Not suicides, like that rainbow one where it's like Baseline, free throw line.
That's the suicide.
Suicide?
Mm-hmm.
Then what's the one sideline to sideline?
That was called, I don't remember. It was like 10, it was like a minute and 10. Remember? Or no, 16s.
Oh, that's what they were
Because you had to do it 16 times.
I think those were worse.
I kind of liked them because it wasn't as long of a distance before you got to turn around. But you had to do it. It was a longer.
We had timed.
So did I. It was like a minute
I
long.
hated it.
Yeah, I did too. I'm not saying I liked it, but I don't know.
But I mean, with that grueling schedule, like and then off season, you were in select. I was in a select team, so it was like we were constantly doing an activity, and then that abruptly stops after high school, and so yeah, your body has to shift, it has to change, and here we are now. But I mean, I think also, I think why there's so much issues of like thinking about like, oh, like they're so thin, or like how we look back at our pictures and we're like, we look so thin, is because, and I saw a TikTok about it and I mentioned it to you about how in the early 2000s, the biggest, I don't know, like influencers were anorexic. Like, no one's talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton,
like Christina Aguilera,
and Nicole
Spears.
Richie, like they were sticks.
Yeah.
And they were being glorified for being like skeleton thin.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, I have to look like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's not even like I have to look like that. It's put in your mind is that's what you should look like. Yeah. And if you don't, then you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. And I think now we are kind of taking a step back, and it's like, no, everybody is beautiful the way that they are. Curves, no curves, cellulite, stretch marks, brown hair, blonde hair, blue, black, whatever. Yeah. Like, the sooner that we can all, and I said it before, start loving each other, start loving ourselves, because I really think that hatred and bullying really comes from within, and like a hatred from within of yourself. Yeah. Because there's no reason anybody in their right mind who is perfectly happy and loves themselves perfectly would be rude or hateful to another human being for living their life and they don't have anything to do with it.
I think sometimes it's jealousy. And another one is...
which it comes from not being fully acceptant of yourself.
Yeah, and then another one is they are, like, nitpicking at things they don't like about themselves. Mm-hmm. They're, like, projecting it on others. Like, oh, like, she has ugly toes. And it's like, they probably haven't accepted their toes. I don't know.
Actually, you have ugly toes. And you just need to accept your ugly toes and the fact that they get you from A to B. And somebody's going to love you for those toes. And the quicker that you get to love your toes, the better off everybody will be.
Who knows? You might end up with the man with the foot fetish. You better love them toes fast.
You better get on it, girl. But, I mean, that's what I'm saying is, like, people don't naturally just have a hatred inside them. No. Unless they're, like, a fucking sociopath or psychopath. Yeah. Which I think those are very rare and few and far between. There are some within people, but I feel like majority of humankind is good.
Yeah, like I think everyone has like a good common sense to be like, you know what? Think before I speak.
Exactly. And just like don't take your insecurities and your shitty day. Don't take that out on other people because you don't know what shit they're going through either. Like, just because you're feeling insecure, I honestly believe that everybody has an insecurity within themselves and wants to be, like we've said this before, wants to be accepted by other people. Yeah. And that's just a normal, natural thing. But I don't know. The The
I think the sooner, like, you love and accept yourself, the sooner
you can live the best fucking life that you
yeah.
deserve to live.
And you know what? Like, at the end of the day, there are always going to be haters.
Yeah.
Because they're going to hate that
Overcome.
you've overcome that obstacle, and you, like, they're going to be like, you're so fat, or like, you have ugly hair, or you have weird toes, whatever it may be. And you're just going to walk with your head up high, because it's like, I've already gone through that obstacle, and I love it about me.
And it's like, yeah, I understand that I might not be the skinniest person in the room, or I might not be the prettiest person in the room, but I've accepted the way that I am and who I am as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Looks are not everything.
No.
And I think that as a human race that we focus so much on how we look.
Yeah.
And it's really what is inside. Like, me and Tammy watched Shrek last night.
And I was watching Shrek too.
Last night?
Yes.
Oh my god. Which is like the perfect message for this show, because it's like Shrek just feels like everybody's judging him based on the way that he looks, and that he's scary and he's green and he's ugly. But really, he's like this sweet, kind-hearted, lovable beast that
had to build a wall to protect himself.
Yeah, but once, like, Fiona got to see that side of him, she ended up falling in love with him, and now she's an ogre, and they're ogres together, and now
they have little ogre babies.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really just, like, being able to feel comfortable in your own skin and be who you are, be the weird self that you are, and the people that are supposed to be in your life will accept you for who you are, and the people that don't, you know what, you don't even need them.
No, fuck
You don't need that toxic energy in your life anyways. No. And karma will come back around and show them a beating.
And you know what, like, I know a lot of, like, the social media, like, negativity comes from, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, it comes from men, especially, like, in response to the hot girl summer, girls posting vids, or, like, some of those girls are just wanting to spread positivity out to other girls or guys out there, whoever, and it's always like, oh, to have hot girl summer, you have to be hot first, or something stupid, and it's like, child, your mama's calling you, go back inside.
Yeah. You're just mad because none of the hot girls want you, okay?
So, you know, they're just... Remember, people feel powerful behind a keyboard. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, those words are nothing. The only words that should matter are the ones that you think for yourself.
I agree. Damn.
Boom.
That was a powerful freaking message.
Look at that. You get body positivity. You get body positivity. We're all going to have a wonderful hot girl summer. Whether that be by the pool, or whether you're inside laying under your fan because it's so hot outside. Whatever it may be.
You do you. You do what's comfortable to you. But just know that we're here to support you in whatever avenue, adventure you're going on. And we would love to hear from you. If you have any, like, topics or anything that you want us to talk about or, like, give our opinions on. I mean, we're not, like, doctors or therapists or anything like that, but we do have opinions on things, and
we'll research it too.
We haven't been very good about research. We both said statistics that we were like, we don't really know if these are, like, made up or not, but, like, you know, we'll go with it. But
might be true, might be not true.
Yeah, I mean, so if you have, like, something that's interesting to you, like, shout out to us and give us your ideas of different things that we can talk about. I mean, we're very big on supporting everybody and, like, wanting everybody to be the best people that they can be. So on that note, just a reminder, don't compare yourself to anybody else. Actually, I guess we'll close. I actually read this quote the other day, but it's like, stop comparing yourself to people that are 10 years ahead of you. You're not there yet. Mm-hmm. So, or 10 steps ahead of you, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, wherever you are, in whatever journey you're in, Just take it day by day, step by step, and do the best that you can. You know, that's all you can do.
That's it. You know, whether it be a baby step or a giant leap forward, you're the only one that can set the pace.
Truth.
So
I think we should just end on that.
Yeah,
I feel like
we
this is
should.
really good.
That was powerful. We have a really interesting we have like random episodes where like
I know, I feel
talk
like we
nonsense,
actually,
and then we have episodes like these guys. In case you're just tuning in, we're always like this. Yes.
I feel like we did a really good job of staying on topic this time and actually
committing to the message.
Yeah. We had a lot to say about it.
We had a lot to say.
Yeah. So let's cheers to that. I'm almost out of wine, so this is going to be my final cheers. But
cheers.
Stay positive. Have a hot girl summer. And rock the shit out of everything you're doing.
Woo!
Love you.
Cheers.